recently watched Conjuring 3 in the cinemas and it was decent, but nowhere near the level of Conjuring 1 and 2. So in this video, I want to revisit and go through Conjuring 1. There's one specific scene in The Conjuring which scared the shit out of me, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. The movie starts with these three idiots explaining how Annabelle is doing some f***ed up shit around the house after they literally gave permission to a spirit to live inside of Annabelle. Bunch of retards. Annabelle goes sicko mode on the house, so they chuck her in the garbage bin. Guess what? She returns. Then Ed and Lorraine Warren, the ghost hunting couple, explain to them that they lack brain cells for allowing a demon to enter the doll and that actually wants to possess them. We then cut to the power couple who are actually giving a lecture about Annabelle, and then we get some of their lore. I don't know if it's just me, but seeing based on a true story increases scariness by about like 23.6%. Then we get introduced to a family who's just moved into their new house. They have like a million kids whose names I could not tell you. I only recognize Murph from Interstellar. Oh, and the doggy refuses to enter the house. Child number 428 finds a toy under this big ash tree and she takes it inside with her. The kids then play a game of hide and clap and accidentally discover a secret basement which was boarded up, probably for a good reason. Also, doggy still refuses to enter the house. The mum Caroline wakes up and sees that she's got a bruise on her leg, bit weird. She notices some of the clocks are stuck at 3:07, bit weird. Then unfortunately they find doggy dead and doggy gets buried. At night one of the ghosts is touching one of the girl's feet and she says that he stinks. Ouch. Then the dad wanders around and sees a door open by itself. As he is of the white descent, he naturally goes to investigate. He then goes upstairs and finds Murph sleepwalking. Now, I'm not an expert on sleepwalking, but I don't think that's normal. Anyways, she gets put back to bed and the mum sees that she has another bruise. Then a pigeon commits suicide. Child number 428 tells her mum that she's made a new friend called Rory and that you can see him in the mirror of this toy. Unfortunately, Rory doesn't turn up. Then they play the hide and clap game. This is gonna end well. She ends up hearing a clapping sound from the wardrobe even though the kid was hiding someplace else. At night, the ghost with the bad BO turns up again and messes with the girls. She looks under the bed and then she sees something in the corner of her room. She goes over and says it stinks. Damn, this ghost is just getting roasted. Anyways, he gets mad and he closes the door. The girls scream. The family come rushing in and then she tells them that the ghost spoke to her saying that he wants the family dead. Right, okay, guys. Surely it's time to bounce now. You got a literal death threat from a ghost. At night, Caroline hears some noises, so she goes to investigate and someone knocks over all her family photos down. She looks around and sees that the basement door is wide open. She is also of the white descent, so she goes in as well. She threatens the ghost saying, "I'm gonna lock you down there," as if that's gonna do shit, and then instantly gets hit with the Una reverse and flies down the stairs. What did you expect to happen? You just threatened a ghost. Anyway, someone chucks a ball at her, so she legs it to the door. Obviously the door's locked. She lights a matchstick and someone asks her if she wants to play hide and clap. Then someone claps right next to her head. It goes dark and then the door starts shaking. I can't lie, this scene f***ed me up when I first watched it. I don't know why, it was just someone clapping, but it scared me so much I just couldn't sleep for days after this scene. Meanwhile, Murph is sleep headbutting the wardrobe again. Her sister puts her to bed and goes to check out the wardrobe. There's nothing inside it and then she looks up and oh look, there's someone sitting on top. The demon jumps her, everyone freaks out, the whole family rushes in, including Caroline who was literally getting touched up in the basement a few minutes ago, and then they all hug it out. We then cut to the power couple giving another lecture and guess who's in the audience? It's Caroline, guys. She asks Ed and Lorraine to come check out their freaky house. They obviously oblige. They turn up at the house and they explain to them the dodgy shit that's been happening. Oh, I don't know how I forgot to mention this, but Lorraine is some sort of psychic / medium, so she can see into the other world. Anyways, in the basement, she says that something terrible happened here. No shit, Sherlock. Lorraine sees Rory in the toy mirror, and somehow she's completely unfazed, which is fair enough. Balls of steel. I would have screamed like a girl. She goes out to the garden, turns around and sees a woman's feet chilling behind Ed's head. She then explains to the family that the thing which was hung outside is the same demon in the house and follows them around like white on rice. She also tells them that there's multiple spirits chilling in this house. The couple do some digging on the house and, long story short, the house was built by a dude called Jedson Sherman, what a name, who married a woman called Bathsheba, and she was related to a woman called Mary Esty, who had been accused of witchcraft witchcraft. Jedson and Bethy Girl had a baby, and when the baby was 7 days old, Jedson found old Bethy Girl sacrificing it in front of a fireplace. She then ran to the tree, said she's a big fan of Satan, cursed everyone on the land, and then peaced out. The time of death was, you guessed it, 307. Another family lived there some years later. The mother peaced out in the cellar room, and her son Rory disappeared in the woods. There was another boy who drowned in the pond, and a maid who died as well in the house. Basically, you come on this land, you get touched. The whole ghost-busting Avengers assemble and rig the house up with equipment to try and catch these demons. Lorraine has a little heart-to-heart with Caroline about how going to the beach with her family is one of the happiest days of her life. Then a door randomly opens which puts everyone on edge, but it was actually just this dude taking a piss or a shit. I don't know which one. Actually, judging by the newspaper, I'm gonna guess it was a number 2 because most people don't use a newspaper for a number 1. They get all set up and the final touch is putting these little baby Jesus statues everywhere to really piss the demons off. The door opens once again, but this time no one was relieving themselves inside, so they go to check it out. Nothing happens, so they come back up, but then the door slams shut. Why do demons love doors, by the way? What is their obsession with doors? The next day, everyone has a wholesome breakfast together. Lorraine's taking the sheets off outside when the weather changes all of a sudden, and this happens. She then sees someone in Caroline's room and rushes upstairs. Meanwhile, Caroline gets more bruises, and then freaky ass demon floats on top of her and vomits in her mouth. Nasty shit. Lorraine runs to check and Caroline opens the door looking like this. Yeah, she don't look right. Then the police officer guy is chilling in the kitchen when he sees a ghost of a maid saying she made me do it. He follows her and then he gets jump scared. Then Murph sleepwalks, setting off all the cameras, so they follow her but then she's locked the door. They listen in and they hear someone else in the room with her. Then they break in but there's no sign of her anywhere, so where's she gone? They do some snooping around and find a room behind the cupboard where Murph is chilling. Apparently this is the hole where where Rory used to hide as well. Lorraine checks it out and finds a noose. Nice. She ends up falling through the floor and landing in the basement. In the basement, she whips out the toy mirror and finds a sumo wrestler saying she made me do it. I got the giggles. She gets chased by a floating lady afterwards, and then Lorraine pieces it together and realizes the demon possesses the mother and then forces the mother to kill the child, just like the origin story of Bethy Girl. Now the demons start to ramp stuff up and they start going sicko mode. They knock down the baby Jesus statues, pick up Nancy and fling her across the room. Come on man, what's Nancy done? That's uncalled for.
I'm like, what did he say fuck me for?
The ghost continues taking Nancy for a ride. Whoa, serious pause. Then they give her a trim to take the ghost off her. I don't understand, why can't the demon just grab onto all the other hair she has on her head? I don't know. Lorraine runs to the garden and sees a vision of her daughter in the lake, so she calls her IRL to make sure that she is safe and sound. The family finally packs up and moves to a motel whilst Ed and Lorraine go to the church to present evidence and I think get permission for an exorcism. There's a small side plot which is going on at home, but I'm just going to sum up very quickly. Annabelle tries 360 no-scoping a massive wooden rocking chair at Judy's head, but Ed opens the door just in time and with super quick reflexes moves Judy out the way. Anyways, at the motel the kids inform the husband that the mum, Caroline, took off with 2 of the kids back to the house and that she's smelling of rotten meat. Uh-oh. Everyone then rushes off to the house. Buddy shotguns the door open. That was pretty sick. They run to the basement and find Caroline trying to shank her daughter. They save the daughter. Caroline starts tweaking. They try taking her out the house but the ghost disagrees, burns her as she reaches the door and then yeets her back inside. I can't lie, the way she's sliding around on the floor, it's kind of how I slide down those massive water slides in a water park, you know? Never mind. She's still flying around the basement. They then try grabbing her but she f***ed them all up. She even bites this dude's ear off. Like, goddamn. Eventually they tie her to a chair and wrap her up. Ed decides that they can't wait for a priest for an exorcism, so he's gonna strap up and do it himself. I mean, if Jay could do it, I'm sure Ed can as well. As soon as he starts exercising, shit just starts going so tits up. Birds start circling the house and one breaks into the basement. Caroline continues spazzing out and the other detective is still looking for the other daughter because there were 2. Caroline throws up blood. The exercising continues, shit gets freaky and nasty. Then the chair levitates, does a 180 and gets yeeted back down and breaks. The demon attempts a truly pathetic assassination attempt on Ed. Seriously, what the hell was that? The demon speaks through Caroline and says that she's already gone, you know, you're wasting your time, piss off. And then the shotgun loads itself and fires at Ed. See, that is a much better attempt at murder. Respect. Then the other detective finds the kid between the house walls. Caroline hears this and jets off to finish the job. She's about to shank her daughter when Ed the goat calls Caroline by the demon's name, Beth Schreiber, and then she reveals her true nature. Then, through the power of friendship, they help Caroline think of the beautiful day she had on the beach with her family. This gives Caroline some power over the demon, and she eventually is strong enough to vomit the demon out or something. And that's basically it. Everyone lives happily ever after. Ed takes the toy mirror thing back home to add to his collection. Nice. Fair enough. And yeah, what a great movie. The takeaway from this movie, in my opinion, always check the history of the land you're buying before you move into a house, mate. You gotta know what's going on in that gaff, alright? So, yeah, a little bit of research, a little bit of Google. I don't know if they had Google back in that day, but would have solved the whole problem before it even started.